December 4th is the day of Saint Barbara, a Catholic saint, perhaps best known as the patron saint of armourers, artillerymen, military engineers, miners, and others who work with explosives. If you want to know more about this interesting story, join me in this video. I am Pedro Enrique Pujals, and this is my historical channel El Tesoro del Presidente. According to legend, Saint Barbara was a young woman of great beauty, born in the 3rd century AD, in Nicomedia, a Roman province located in what is now Lebanon. At this time, Christianity was spreading throughout the Roman Empire, and Barbara's father, a satrap, a despotic and arbitrary local governor called Dioscorus, locked her in a tower to prevent her from being captured by Christian proselytism. But despite this, Barbara converted to Catholicism and ordered some workers to add a 3rd window to the 2 originally intended in the tower that was her prison, as a symbol of the Holy Trinity. When Dioscorus found out, he became enraged and ordered his daughter to be executed by cutting off her head with a sword. An ancient tradition says that when Dioscorus was coming down from the mountain where his daughter had been beheaded, lightning struck him and killed, and his body was consumed by flame, as punishment for his cruelty. That is why Saint Barbara is represented with a sword, and with a palm, an instrument and sign of martyrdom, with a crown because he won the kingdom of heaven, and with the tower that was his prison, and the lightning bolts that avenged his death. Since the use of artillery began, the devotion of the Spanish artillerymen to this saint began, and they had her as their patron. It is easy to infer why they chose her, and it is because she was already recognized as the patron saint of lightning and thunder, and this phenomenon of nature was the most like cannon shots and the most fearsome in gunpowder stores. They sought the sponsorship that could be worth it to them. There are signs of the devotion of the Spanish artillery to Saint Barbara since the time of the Catholic kings, but with the arrival to the throne of Charles V, the dedication of Saint Barbara by the Spanish artillery was confirmed and materialized as a custom. Her effigy was present in many artillery barracks and arsenals. The Spanish word Santa Barbara signify the powder magazine of a ship or fortress. It was customary to have a statue of Saint Barbara at the magazine to protect the ship or fortress from suddenly exploding. Numerous renowned painters captured it on their canvases, which today hang on the walls of museums and military units. We find evidence of this devotion of the artillerymen to this saint in the cannons themselves. It is common to find cannons named after her, for example, in these rescued from the sea. Nuestra Señora de las Mercedes was a frigate belonging to the Spanish Navy, which was launched in the port of Havana in 1786, and which was part of the convoy that covered the commercial route between America and Spain, frequently threatened by pirates from the United Kingdom. On October 5, 1804, and despite the fact that there were times of peace between the two nations, the Battle of Cape Santa Maria took place, already on the coast of the peninsula, which will result in the sinking of the frigate Nuestra Señora de las Mercedes. This frigate came from the port of Callao in Lima, Peru, and was loaded with gold, silver, vicuna, quina, and cinnamon fabrics. Santa Barbara is the name of a large bronze cannon, a culverin, that the frigate Mercedes carried in its hold on the day of its shipwreck. It was recovered by our divers and today is exhibited in a museum in Cartagena. By then it was an obsolete piece. It was almost 3 centuries old. I think she would take it as ballast, or as prime material to be melted on the peninsula and converted into new cannons. The Santa Barbara culverin was cast in 1586, in Peru. Its weight exceeds 2.8 tons. It was commissioned by the Count of Villa, Fernando de Torres, then newly appointed Viceroy of Peru. He was a trusted man and cousin of Philip II, to whom the monarch entrusted the viceroyalty when he was already in his 70s. The king did not follow the criteria of his advisors, who wanted someone younger and more capable, but Philip II wanted to have someone close and loyal in Peru to improve the conditions of the Indians in the mines of Potosi, around whom bad practices were growing, corruption and abuse. He founded hospitals and improved the conditions of the miners, forcing compliance with the rules. When he arrived in Lima, he was also aware of the improvement that the defences needed, so he armed ships and bastions, which allowed him to confront the English fleet of Thomas Cavendish. However, there were no good smelters there. He asked the king to send experts and managed to get Philip II to send Bernardino de Tejeda, one of the greatest in Seville. He is the one who signs this culverin. This is an exceptional piece. It presents numerous decorative fields in relief formed by mythological borders, the coat of arms of Castilla y León, the name of the cannon, Santa Barbara, and the name of the craftsman who cast it, Bernardino de Tejeda. It has two dolphin handles that are repeated on the breech. I had the opportunity to see this other Spanish cannon on a visit I made to the Tower of London in 2011, but it was very difficult to take a good photo of its inscriptions and the piece in general, so I took the photos from the museum website. It is a 24-pounder cannon from 1643. The chamber and reinforcement are formed by a lion with its jaws open in an attacking attitude. The front legs form the handles. Near the mouth there is a figure of Saint Barbara in relief, with the inscription, Sancta Barbara. Catholicis Barbaris, Saint for Catholics, Barbarian for barbarians. This is the translation that appears on the Royal Armoury website. I don't know if it is correct. Maybe some of those watching this video who know Latin can give a better translation and leave them in the comments. Thanks in advance. On the chase are the royal arms of Spain, of King Philip IV. On the ring of the reinforcement before the trunnions is inscribed Parcius v Victus, to save the humble. It was cast in the Netherlands, which at that time were domains of the Hispanic crown. The mouth of this cannon was damaged in the Great Warehouse Fire of 1841. A description in the Tower of London says that this cannon was captured in the taking of Vigo. Here is another cannon from the Toledo Military Museum, El Rayo, cast in 1749, probably in the Philippines, with Bishop Juan Araquedra Tobar being the governor and captain general of the Philippines. It is a 24-pound piece, that is, this was the weight of the cannonball. On the reinforcement it bears the shield of King Ferdinand VI. His name El Rayo, Te Lightning, is inscribed on the chase, the usual motto of the Spanish artillery of the time, Violetae Fulmina Regis, the lightnings of the offended king, and the name of the patron saint of artillery, Santa Barbara. Combat damage can be seen on the shaft and on the band of the breech. On the reinforcement, at the height of the trunnions, the coat of arms of the governor and captain general of the archipelago are engraved, Bishop Juan Araquedra Tobar, born in Caracas, Venezuela, in 1681 and died in the Philippines, in 1751. Let's talk a little about this coat of arms and its ecclesiastical heraldry. It is surrounded by the external ornaments common to all bishops, a sinople, green, hat accompanied by a cord with 6 tassels on each side. On a shield, in this case more than a shield, what appears in a circle is the stemma liliatum, the flordelised cross of the Dominican order, and of the Inquisition, of which the interim governor was a member. The cross stands on 8 pieces of silver, white, and sable, black. These are the colors of the Dominicans' clothing, being engraved in bronze. Logically we cannot appreciate any color. Taking advantage of the fact that we are surrounded by so much historical artillery, I remind you that my book Ultima Ratio Re-Gun, The Historical Artillery in Santiago de Cuba, is for sale on Amazon. That's all for today's. I didn't want to let this day pass without remembering this important saint for historical artillery, and showing you these 3 cannons that were named in her honor. I hope you liked it. If so, please leave me a like as this helps me a lot. Remember to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss future deliveries. See you later.